Wow, guys! Did you see how the energy shifted in the room the second you're all clapping? When I was here, I'm kind of jealous. What? It's amazing to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. And my understanding is you haven't been together on a panel in the past 10 years?
Yes, the last thing.
Whenever we're talking to fellow actors, we're always, what's that it factor that makes someone? The second you look at them, know like, oh, these guys are going to make it. They're going to be stars. They're going to be universes. They're going to be bigger than life. So I'm so interested to know on a personal level, what is it that makes, what's the it factor?
Sure, I can answer this.
You can all answer this. Do you want me to answer this?
Anybody who ever says, this would be my experience, this would be Salman's and Amar's,
Yeah.
and most of the actors who worked for many, many years, that there is nothing like an it factor. If somebody ever tells you that, that is absolutely redundant and not true. You don't know what the it factor is. The it factor has got to do with the audience, how they take on to your persona, how you look, how you talk, how you walk. None of that resonates. It's just something else about the person that an audience starts liking in large numbers. If you were to honestly ask Amir right now, he'll tell you, I don't know why I'm a star. If you ask me, I'll tell you, I don't know why I'm a star.
Yeah.
I know.
Salman's the only one, nobody else will.
I know because, yeah.
So,
I feel has to make you a star.
So this is the thing, because I see a lot of actors and you know, you've been here for a very long time and you've seen changes and everything has adapted and new mediums have like happened, and how do you not lose that sparkle or joy of going every day to work? What is it that
See,
makes
because,
you...
none of us call ourselves stars. We don't believe in that. It's some journalists, they add these things, Salman Khan, star, Shah Rukh Khan, superstar, Amir Khan, superstar. We don't believe this at all. We still, at home, are just like everyone else. I still get yelled by my father, my mother, still get told by my sisters, my brothers. So we're just normal human beings, and it's just that there's so many people who we work with. They are the people who portray average, mediocre people like us, not them, me, to look like a god on screen. So the credit is not us. It is your DOP, your director, your writer, and then the people, the fans, go and see Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan, Sanjay Dutt, you know, on screen, and they like what they see on screen.
So to what do you attribute the success that you have? Is it like a group work, like you're saying right now?
It's success is what, Friday?
The success of even
Famous
Bollywood,
Friday.
because your story is going on such a global platform in general.
Our film's released on a Friday. And the film is a big hit, does well, we're happy. We come to a stage that the film is not so good, doesn't do well. Some competitors are very happy.
So with everything that's modern, like all the things that are changing, how do you adapt a little bit your craft with the changing times to appeal to the new generation, but at the same time still appeal to the generation that has followed you from the start?
I think additional content that we have in our storytelling. Amir is an extremely organized, perfectionist as they call him. No. He works not organized at all. He's not organized, but he works very hard trying to tell a story. Salman has his freewheeling way to come and work because it comes from the heart. I try to amalgamate both of these. But at the end, I think the core value that the three of us and all the other stars Salman mentioned and lots of other stars will come along the way. I think there's an emotional connect that our films have. Maybe it's our culture, maybe it's the fact that we all belong to, in India at least, and I think that's why more so in Saudi also. There's a familial connect somewhere, whatever the story, if I'm playing a bad guy, a good guy, a happy guy, a poor guy, a rich guy, whatever character we are playing, I think somewhere the culture part of it and the emotional connect transcends boundaries of languages, platforms as you mentioned, whether it's on a telephone or an iPad or on OTT, I think it's the storytelling, emotional connect that binds every actor, not just the three of us. We've been very fortunate, like Salman mentioned. God has been too kind to us. We just get up in the morning and do our work as simply as he said, being lambasted by our families at home for doing right and wrong, but we just get up in the morning and go back to work. But I think it's the emotional connect that somehow, because of hundreds of people who work with us, have been able to portray us, and we've been able to tell these familial, emotionally, culturally common stories for the rest of the world, in spite of the language that we speak.
So what do you think makes it appealing for such a global scale? Is it just the emotional part, or could it be the addition of music, the image, the photo? I mean, I remember when I was starting to acting and everybody was like, okay, you need to go to Bollywood, not Hollywood. And I remember I had a period where I started
You
watching...
should have come, you'd have made it.
Should have? Actually, I used to live... Oh, really? Thank you. It's
Jackie
not never
can
too
do
late.
it, Katrina can do it. Yeah. But it requires a lot of hard work, and first it requires you to speak the language. If I want to do Arabic film,
Yeah.
I will have to learn the language.
That's interesting. Wow. But I was thinking, and do you believe you have to take a lot of risks in this industry? Because I feel like all of you you're also wearing producer hats on, not just actors. So for
You know, if you're born in Hollywood, those guys will not in there.
Well, so I'm saying it's a lot of, it's the opportunities, it's where you are at what time, fate, whether you call it fate or whatever, destiny, where you are at that time. Of course, everyone is hardworking. All of us work hard, and a lot of people who want to come into any field work very hard. But it's also a lot of, are you at the right place at the right time? Many things work in your favor, which are not in our control. Many things are not in our control. So it's a mix of all of that, I guess. Yeah.
See, Amir comes from a film background, so do I. This man here, did. He came from Delhi.
May I interject, Salman? Sorry. I also come from a film family. Salman's family is my family.
So now you know why Shahrukh is a star.
That's why I'm a star.
That's so nice to see this relationship between you guys. How do you feel in general?
That's only on stage.
You should see us backstage.
See us backstage.
Right after this.
Well, how's your relationship with Stardom in general and everything that happens? I know sometimes Stardom can consume people and sometimes it can feed you. I mean, we're all humans here, right? Sometimes we want to have bad days, and now you feel like with you appealing to so many audiences and having this much presence on social media, how do you feel it impacts you on a mental level? Does it feed your soul, or can it get overwhelming sometimes?
Well, it is challenging. I think it is challenging. Being in the public eye all the time is challenging. I think amongst the three of us, I'm probably the most reluctant star. Hey, Shah?
You always wanted to be a star more than both of us.
No,
Because he was the first porn star.
I like to be in corners. I don't like the limelight on me. I'm not comfortable with that.
Are you an introvert?
I'm more of an introvert, yeah. So I am uncomfortable in many ways. But all of us deal with it in our own way, I guess.
No, I think, I don't want to take away the import of social media, but I do believe that when it comes to social media, and especially being in the limelight or in the glare of public all the time, which any public figure has, not only in films, otherwise also, today, just have to have blinkers on. You have to believe cinema, story writing, storytelling, creative work is the beginning germ is belief. So if you have belief in this is what I'm doing, and inshallah, this will turn out to be well, hopefully, this will turn out to be well, what others say does not matter. So you have to have blinkers on. You just have to say, there's going to be a lot of noise, too much noise all around you. Oh, he should dress up like this, he should sit like this, his film should have been like this. I think every morning, if we were to look at social media, people tell us what next film to do also. Who we should star with in the film, who the director should be. But you have to believe in a simple basic idea of storytelling, and just start your day with that, end your day with that, end your year with that, and I think you should end your whole career like that. Everything else is noise, You just tell your story, the story that you believe. It's as simple as that. We've been doing it for 35 years. Maybe I put it too simply. For people who are starting off and who are now surrounded by this fantastic social media influx in every part of our lives, may have problems dealing with it. The youngsters will have problems. But if you were to take anything from our experience, like he said, he's an introvert. Whatever I know of Salman, I don't think he wants to be in the public eye. Personally, I'm very shy. So we actually are people who would not love to be in the public eye all the time. We deal with it because it's part of our job now. Beyond that, I don't think either of us takes it seriously. We just make sure our work is taken more seriously now.
He doesn't come out of his house. He doesn't come out of his house. I don't come out of my house. Only when we have to work, that is when we have to go to shoots. See, I believe, I remember that must have been about 13, 14. I went to see this film called Enter the Dragon. And when I came out of the theater, I thought I was Bruce Lee. And I got beaten up. But that impact is that I realized one thing is that when you come out of the theater, somebody should want a son like you. A mother should want a son like you. A father should want a son like you. A sister should want a brother like you. A girl should want a husband or a boyfriend like you. And when you come out of the theater, you should go back home at least a 20-25% a better person. And that character is liked. So he's liked by older women that I want a son like this. I want a brother. Now we've come to the stage like, I want a father like him. Very soon we're going to be. We want grandfathers like him, granddad.
But do you feel like you have to be, you cannot necessarily be your authentic self when you have such, when you're put on such a pedestal of people wanting to be like you, wanting to do that, that you don't get to express your
You
weakness?
fail, get complacent, you stand up, you start working a lot harder. Success, if this goes to your head, then your old age is going to be really painful. So you should never let success go to your head. It's, I mean, you cannot take the credit. You can take the credit for failure because you signed the film, you've done the project, but you cannot ever take the credit for success. It belongs to everyone.
And the energy, that's very correct. And I always thought that acting, we're trading energies with people and that people require your energy all the time. So my question would be, when you have such a huge fan base and audiences and people around you all the time, where do you resource yourself and what's your relationship with the fans and how do you maintain healthy boundaries with people so that you're able to have your bad day or able to focus on the scene you want to do without necessarily having to give your attention to everyone around?
Rizan, what happens is, when you're asking these questions to the three of us, the answer would be similar. You just have to be true to yourself. And when you become a star, people expect a certain kind of behavior from you, certain kind of, out in the public, that we start to learn. As a matter of fact, stardom of the level that Salman has seen, Amir has seen, I've been fortunate enough to see, actually humbles you. It makes you grateful to all the forces around you. And one of the biggest forces are the audience who's loving you so much. So the humility always becomes, I'm sure for all of us and all the other actors as the years go by, that I'm in the service of the audience. I really need to make sure that they are entertained. Like Salman says, when they walk out, they should feel a better person because they've seen a film. When they walk out, they should aspire to be someone, or they should identify with the character they are playing. So at the end of it all actors, at least in our context, would be that there is nothing else that we want to think about. As a matter of fact, I think we don't even like to call them fans. These are people who love us. We talk about energies. We just want to share this positivity back with them that they have given to us, not only shared, for the last 35 years. So I think it's a very gratifying feeling. It's a feeling of gratitude. It's a feeling of wanting to serve everybody who comes to watch our films in the best way possible. There's never been a finger lifted, an expression done, a dialogue done, without keeping in mind, are we making sure everybody who comes to watch this film is happy to see or goes back, like Salman said, a better person. So you just have to be honest to yourself and say, I'm in the service of storytelling to this huge gamut, this huge sea of people who love us so much.
Yeah. And how do you recharge yourself with all these things? Like, where do you find your source of inspiration on a daily basis to be able to give everybody else that feeling?
I find it in my children. I find kids very refreshing, very resourceful, and Salman has a lot of children in his family. Amir has kids. I find them great source of energy. I just find their ideas now. You know, I've been fortunate to be first. Let me just say thank you, Joyforum, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Adnan, for having us here. Thank you, Turkey Al Sheikh, for creating this. I really believe it. Last time we were together and we got to meet so many people. We met the team from Squid Games, we met Speed, we met Mr. Beast, and this energy that we see of so many other people that we've only experienced on screen, never met personally, really helps us also to think, okay, you know, here is a congregation of people that all of us are come to this platform in Saudi, sharing, wanting to tell people good stories to entertain them. I think that's refreshing for me. You know, when I come to a forum like this, get to meet us in this kind of setting. We meet otherwise at home and have a great time. But this is really nice to come and say, okay, there's so many people wanting to share ideas. You take refreshment from there, you take energy from there. And yes, the more innocence you spend time with, the more energy you get to express in it.
I find reading really helps me. I love reading since I was a small kid. So that is something that input of characters, ideas, that really inspires me when I read a good book.
And now singing as well.
Now Amir is singing also. He's learning classical singing for the last two years now.
Okay, now these two have decided to start pulling my leg.
Would you like to?
Please.
They're
Please book a
basically going
Isha.
to put you on the spot.
So I think basically our families keep us grounded. And we know that at the time we don't give it our blood and sweat, the hardest that we can work, you know, tearing ligaments, breaking bones. I don't think that the audience they want to see hard work. They want to see that we're taking our time off, we're taking a whole day off to go and watch a movie. We want to see you at your best. So that is what keeps us going, because they are taking the families, they're going to see somebody who they don't know. But yet, we're in their living rooms and their bedrooms, we're on their phones. So we all the time have to give it our best so that their money is well spent when they come and watch our movies. And basically our families keep us grounded.
We have similar values in the Middle East as well. Like, we're very family oriented, so it's very refreshing to see the strong bonds. And what do you think would be the similarities between the Arabic culture and the Indian culture?
Well, whatever, I mean, this is the second time that I'm coming to Saudi Arabia. It's a beautiful country. I came a few months ago for the Red Sea Festival, and now for this one. I think that the people here are extremely loving, extremely respectful. There's a lot of positivity in everyone here, so that's wonderful to see.
And generosity, I find.
Certainly, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of similarities. I think the emotional key that Indians have is very similar to all of Middle East, and I would say even like I've been to China, and over there I find that the emotional key of Chinese people is very similar to Indians as well. Yeah. So it's not just I think it's the Middle East, India, and even the East has a very similar key in terms of their emotions. That's what I've experienced.
And also the respect that we have, not only for our parents, for our grandparents,
That's true.
for our mothers. And that respect is, I mean, you have it here, the whole Arab world has it, and so do we. That mother is nothing above mother. And no man can ever be happy for a person's success than his own father. So we know these things. We know that they're on our side. And the fact that we will stand up in front of them, we'll bow down in front of them, is because we have that tremendous amount of respect for our people. You have it here, we have it there. And that thing of that we should not hurt our loved ones. So these are things that is common in your culture and our culture.
That's true. And this is what I wanted to ask you next, is that Saudi Arabia is really becoming like a hub, attracting people from all over the world to come do projects here. So in what way do you think you can bridge the gap between Bollywood and actually doing projects in Saudi Arabia? Do you see, what is your vision for that?
I think after having spoken the fact that we have so many cultural binding things, familial things, we're all God-fearing. I think these are commonalities between us and Saudi. And actually, if you really expand your vision, most of the world believes in these three tenets. And I think what Saudi Arabia, through forums like this and other things that are happening in Saudi Arabia lately, I think is opening up a midpoint for the world from the west to come in, from the east to come in, share ideas, plan things, and to be honest, the openness and the hospitality and the love with which everybody is welcome.
That's wonderful.
I'm learning the dance, and Amir is going to audition for the song right now. Chief, they'll keep on, what my problem is, they'll keep asking intellectual questions and we'll run out of answers after that. We're entertainers. We
I'm
need to
almost
entertain
done with my questions, by the way.
You're sounding too intelligent, you sound. We are getting a call about all else, nice word, big words to use. So we are going to ask Amir to save us with... They're just, he's just been learning. So we all have to be happy that he started learning, and he'll do a little rendition, and the loudest claps have to come.
So I love singing. I don't know how much other people like my singing, but I enjoy it. So why don't all of three of us sing?
We'll do the backup dancing.
Why don't we join
Like we do in Hindi films, Salman and me will just stand behind and we'll do a little dance.
मस्ती कर रहे हैं.
Salman, our step is this.
कौन सा गाना गाऊं? Which song?
Step. Whichever song you want, we'll just
Whichever song you want to sing, Amir. We are your background dancers.
We have a special
ताल मिले नदी के जल में, नदी मिले सागर मिले कौन से जल में, कोई जाने ना, और ताल मिले नदी.
I don't think it's a good idea singing right here now. Also, Saudi Arabia has given so much of employment to our people. People from the south, people from all over India. So it's like amazing. Everyone, because they give them well, they take great care of them here. So most of the people, the working class as well as everybody, they get much better salary here. The life is much better. The families there are taken care of. So we are really thankful and grateful for all the employment that you have given our people.
So definitely there are stories to be told, because there's such a large presence here of people from India. I guess I'm already writing a script in my mind, so I wonder, what's your dream project that you can think right now, or in a special location or a special genre that you see would fit Saudi Arabia?
See, right now, if you make a Hindi film and just release it here, it'll be a super hit. If you make a Tamil film, or a Telugu film, or a Malayali film, they will do hundreds of crores of business just in this belt, just in the GCC belt, because so many people from our countries have come here. There are people from Balochistan, there are people from Afghanistan, there are people from Pakistan. Everyone is working here.
That's so nice. Do you have anything to say?
No, I mean, if you're asking about a dream project, I think, let me show off a little. It's been too long, I've been humble. I've been too nice, too kind. I have to say, if three of us are in a project, it is a dream itself. Absolutely. Hopefully not a nightmare. It will be a dream if the three of us are together. And inshallah, whenever we get an opportunity, a story, we're always sitting, whenever Amir, Salman, myself, we get together. And I look up to these two guys. Genuinely I do, because they've been working in the
He
industry.
still does, he still does.
Look at me, I'm still looking up to Snowman. So I look up to them, honestly, because the kind of ups and downs and the work they've done, starting from scratch and having worked their way up to this, these people are aspirational and inspirational. And somewhere I feel really, really thankful that I have the opportunity to sit on the same forum, same stage, and the same house and chat with them. So if we are able to get together for a film, which we discuss a lot of times, we just need to make sure it does not let anyone down.
So Shah Rukh has this one thing, keeps on saying it over and over again, that I want him to say that here. Try and say that here. That nobody can afford us three in a film together. So,
I don't want to say it.
Yet.
I don't want to say it in Saudi because everybody will get up and say, "Habibi, Habibi, yeah, done." No, we joke because the affordability is not just the money. The affordability is the kind of timings we follow for work. We're very hardworking. We do come on time, but we have our own eccentricities. We've been working for too long, so can anyone afford those eccentricities? You know, and I'll tell you, when we are working together, we start laughing and joking so much. I'm sure any director, producer, or writer will, can you start working now, guys? Please, can we stop joking about it now? So I think there's a lot of goodness we three share. There's a lot of goodness we need to tell a story with. And one fine day, the three of us will be in a place where somebody takes on all the eccentricities and says, come on, three of you work together and have a good time, inshallah.
and when we three work together, the hero, the star of the project, is not going to be Shah Rukh Khan or me. It's going to be the script, and the script itself. That's it.
I've sat in from the age of 6 or 7 years till the age of 16, 17. Almost all the stories that my father heard, I heard. And to begin with, Shah, I used to hide behind the curtain because my father was very hot-tempered, you know, so I was scared that he might get upset with me. So I used to hide behind the curtain. And then he got to know that I'm listening to his stories, so he brought me in front. And I think today when I look back, I realized that that was my training ground. I never imagined I would be in the films at that time. But just hearing stories and hearing the analysis of a story from people who are in the field, writers, directors, that taught me a lot as I was growing up. It was like a Gurukul, you know, like we have in India. The Gurukul style of learning is probably what I went through, you know. Also, because of films were being made, my father and uncle were both filmmakers. We've seen films evolve from the story to the prep to the way, you know, 6 reels have been shot, 8 reels have been shot, and we've seen screenings of our films which our parents have made. So that entire process was a big learning, I think, for me during my childhood.
And since my father is a scriptwriter, so we used to do this every day at
Yeah,
home.
yeah. And in fact, Salim Saab and Javed Saab, Salman's father, Salim Saab, the two of them were the most successful writers that India has ever seen. I think they wrote 22 scripts together,
Yes, yes.
out of which 18 are super hits. I mean, what a track record. Yeah.
So what advice would you have for the next generation of actors that's coming out now in a very different world?
You know,
when you first started?
I think 3 of us will need advice from the young actors because they are so good. Have you seen the young actors that are doing their first film? Amazing. I think the young guys don't need any advice from us. We need advice from them. In their first film,
In
they are
fact,
doing
if we
such
do
good
give
work.
you advice, don't follow.
No, I feel
Do
that the
just the
younger
opposite.
generation, I feel the younger generation is 10 steps ahead of us. I'm certain about that because the quality of work that young actors are doing, actors, actresses, writers, amazing stuff. So I get really inspired to watch young people work. I mean, if you see Lapata Ladies, they're all new actors here. And when I saw the
No,
first
see,
cut,
they have
I was
this
zapped.
huge
क्या acting
advantage
किया है?
over-
है ना?
They have this whole advantage over us because when we were growing up, we didn't have CCTV cameras, we didn't have phones with
Yeah.
cameras,
Yeah, yeah.
camera conscious at all. You know, they're just very free.
They've grown up with cameras around
in
them.
front because they're facing the camera all the time, from their phones to. When you walk into a supermarket, you know that the cameras are following you all the time. We didn't have all that stuff. So the first time when we faced the camera, and the camera went, grrrr, you know that Harry used to get nervous. And because of that, we used to go on to a take, another take, another take. That sound used to distract us. But now, today, The equipment is so amazing, and this everywhere it's cameras, 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 cameras. So the younger generation, they don't have the fear at all. Like how now Aryan made a web show. That's what bollywood. Really, really well. So now his upbringing is the same, but he didn't want to. I had to rather have him in front of the camera and supersede his father. And like I said earlier, Aryan will be the only person he'll be happy with if Aryan supersedes him.
Or if Salman has a son, then I'd like him to be the biggest star ever in the history of mankind. So we are working on that. But I have a little advice for youngsters. Like Salman said, he's very right. All the youngsters are now very video literate. Cameras are on their faces, in their hands, everywhere around. And I think, yes, it has helped Aryan and all the youngsters now who are coming as actors or directors or storytellers, because they're so used to cameras being around. Like Salman said, when we started with that ID2C camera, we used to get scared. The sound, you had to talk over it. There was no sync sound. It was very, very difficult. But I think there are two parts to being a creative person. One is the art, one is the craft. And the craft is now very easily available because of technology. It's in your hands. But within all that, do not let your art go. And what is art? Art has to be the innocence, which Salman Khan has retained over the years. What Amir Khan has retained over the years. Hopefully I can retain over the years. The innocence of just wanting to tell a story in the simplest form, like he heard from his father, like he's heard from my father. I'm sure growing up I heard from my father and mother. So I think if you are able to keep it simple, don't get carried away by the craft, we are on a forum where we'll be very honest about it. There are days when we get it wrong. We also know it's gone wrong. We couldn't do better than what we wanted to do. We go back home even now and sit back and say, hey, I could have done it. Can I ask for one more take? We think that way. And we also feel very sad when all of it goes wrong. But wake up in the morning and feel that we have to get back to what we know best, which is just basic storytelling. And it is very touching to hear that these two wonderful superstars, not only of our country but of the world, have just grown up and decided to tell stories because their father used to tell them stories. So it's as simple as that. The stories that you hear at home from your family are the ones you want to tell outside, and that simplicity is the art. So please retain that, work hard, bad days, good days, just keep working hard.
Shahrukh, have you seen that क्या किया था अभी वो Netflix पे you and Junaid?
That ad you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, so he
अंदाज़ा अपने का scene हमने किया जुनैद and me.
So I called him up, and there was a scene that they recreated of Andaz Apna Apna, and Junaid has done it so well, so well. I called him up, I said, Junaid is fantastic in this. So now, being Amir's son, okay, he's grown up. I mean, I should carry him in my arms, both the children. Now I'm working on my own, but that's besides the point. But fantastic. I called him up and I said, you know what job you guys have done on that. So it was a promotion for your YouTube channel.
That's right.
That an amazing, amazing job.
Thank you so much, guys. I think we are nearly out of time. I think I could have spent a lot more time here with you guys, but in a nutshell, is there anything you can summarize in maybe one phrase? What's going to be the future of Bollywood, and what do you envision it with this myriad of cultures coming together?
I think more than talking about Hindi film industry, Bollywood, South Indian film industry, the three of us would like to stand together and thank Saudi for giving us this opportunity. And thank you, Razan, for looking
Thank
after
you so
this.
much.
Let's call it, and let's not call it Bollywood anymore, let's call it the Hindi film industry.
I would like to thank the whole of Saudi for having the three of us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the love and respect. Thank you.
We've had, the three of us have had more fun being together than you've had listening to us, I'm sure. So God bless you, and inshallah we'll be here more often and making films together with Saudi, with India, for the rest of the world.
Thank you.